Long ago, when he fought Veldanava, Guy witnessed that power. That art of manipulating the laws of the world was, unlike magic, truly simplified. Yet, the effects were immense. Guy can also manipulate magic to rewrite laws. However, rewriting via skills demonstrated effects on a different dimension compared to magic. In the case of magic, causing a single phenomenon is the most one can do. By combining many of them, one can manifest complex effects. Even for someone who can control magic at will like Guy, those procedures had to be followed. However, skills, specifically Veldanava's authority, made it possible to rewrite such phenomena simultaneously and in multiples. If configured that way initially, one could manifest effects surpassing magic without deep conscious effort. That is precisely why the mechanism was so esoteric. It was only because it was Guy that he could understand and reproduce it. The first thing he obtained was the unique skill pride. It was not something given to him by Veldanava, but an authority he created with his own hands. He was able to do such a thing because Guy possessed an abnormal calculation ability. Even so, copying what he had seen once was his limit. Guy heightened his own proficiency, becoming able to understand any authority at a glance. Through his battle with Velzard, he became intimately familiar with her authority, and succeeded in evolving his skill into the ultimate skill Lucifer, Lord of Pride. However, that was the limit. Copying and reproducing essentially, that was all Guy was permitted to do. That said, with Guy's combat sense, that alone was enough for him to be the strongest. Constructing an authority that interferes with worldly phenomena from zero was impossible unless it was a divine act of God. Deeply analyzing the phenomenon occurring before his eyes, Guy drifted into a sea of thought. If it were Guy, he could deconstruct an authority he saw, reconstruct it, and customize it for his own use to make it easier to handle. Activating multiple different types of authorities simultaneously was possible, but that was only if the resource restrictions on the skills were loose. The reason it looked like Guy was wielding countless authorities was that he was activating them one after another with superb technique, switching between them with zero lag. Simultaneously activating top-tier ultimate skills was impossible, even for Guy. However, what Rimuru is doing is not on that level. He was reconstructing two ultimate skills with different natures into a single authority. No, he was giving birth to something new. That is truly the act of God itself. No, that's wrong. Did he evolve an authority that Veldanava determined to be perfect into something even higher performance? Like how such a ridiculous thing could happen. But Velzard's transformation was reality. He could only be exasperated, seemingly wanting to escape reality, thinking, oi oi. While this was happening, a change occurred in Rimuru. At the same time he returned from his slime state to human form, the thin membrane enveloping Velzard vanished. Immediately after, Rimuru caught Velzard. Held in Rimuru's arms, Velzard slightly opened her eyes. Time was up, but there was no answer. What on earth did Rimuru do? How is such a thing possible? In the first place. At this point, there was nothing left to do but question Rimuru himself. Reaching that conclusion, Guy slowly opened his mouth. Guy pushed an impossible task on me, but I somehow managed to get through it. This is all thanks to Seal-san being there. I slowly released my hands from Velzard. Upon waking, she floated in the air with utter composure. With this, I could finally relax. Or so I thought, until I met eyes with a smiling Guy. Rimuru-kun. I have a really bad feeling about this. Say, what exactly did you do just now, and how? There's no way I can answer that even if asked. It's like I cheated on a test. The one who handled the actual work was Seal-san. Call it a trade secret, or... I won't allow such an evasion. I flinched with an ugh, but if I folded here, I'd lose. When I looked around seeking salvation, I met eyes with Velzard this time. Who exactly are you? That's a straight fastball of a question, but I don't quite get the intent. I am me, after all. Don't play dumb with me, you bastard. No matter how you think about it, it's abnormal. That's right. I kept quiet because you're Veldora-chan's friend, but I thought you were suspicious from the very beginning. Hey now, isn't it a bit late for that? Guy and Velzard pursued the question of who I was with such perfect synchronization, they could have been a married couple. Furthermore, claiming I was suspicious from the start is just too much hindsight bias. It's troubling. That is disrespectful. Diablo intervened. Usually, his excessive theatrics are annoying, but just for now, I'll be grateful. Guy arguing with Diablo. Velzard joining in. It was one step away from a brawl, but I wish they would consider the time and place a little more. Here, there was no choice but for me, the adult, to do something. Now, you guys. This isn't the time for allies to be bickering, is it? Let's hurry to Damagania and do something about this Iverage or whatever. And then return to daily life and live elegantly. Once this matter is settled, a dream slow life is waiting. Supposedly. Let's do my best. I am a man who can put in endless effort if it means I can slack off later. Thinking about such things, I activated the surveillance magic Argus. I thought I would examine the local situation and use it as material to judge how we should provide backup. The battlefield seemed to be in a stalemate, but it was filled with various disturbing signs. Look. If we don't hurry and back them up, Luminous and the others look like they're in trouble. I said that and intended to move immediately, but Guy and Velzard glared at me with flat eyes. What a carefree bastard. Conversely, it makes him seem reliable, which is amazing. It didn't sound like a compliment, but I think the flow changed in a positive direction. Wait, am I the only one worried about Luminous and the others? As I panicked looking at the projected scene, Guy called for a wait. Don't panic. Let's decide who's going to do what once we get there. Velzard agreed with this as well. I think you know this, but my brother Veldanava has revived. I believe we will end up hostile, but you do have a plan to win, right? Leaving Iverge aside, she asked what I intended to do about Veldanava. My brain froze at the sudden impossible demand. I had heard about Veldanava's revival. But, no, wait a minute. Isn't that a matter we should all worry about together? Truly, this point is important. I wish they wouldn't push absolutely everything onto me. Did you not listen to what I said? I was listening, but I thought that wasn't a problem for me to handle alone. When I retorted, Guy clicked his tongue. No, I'm not the one at fault here. Sharing information is important to get everyone involved, so I must demand a proper explanation here. Alright then, I'll explain. Saying that, Velzard explained it to me. According to her. Recently, the sleeping Veldanava had awakened. Veldanava is that guy, right? The eldest son of the true dragon siblings, like Eldora, and essentially the creator of this world, right? And Milim's father. He was destroyed by humans long ago, and supposedly there were no signs of revival. Feldway and the others were desperately trying to resurrect him, weren't they? Yet, he had revived long ago and was apparently dormant to regain his power. What is going on? My brain nearly spiraled into confusion. Is it confirmed that he is an enemy? Probably. Velzard said she had been ordered by Veldanava to leave the Great Gate leading to the Tower of Heaven open. As a result, the world-destroying dragon Iverge appeared in the Cardinal World. We have no choice but to regard Veldanava as an enemy as well. Velzard spoke gravely. Unlike the past, he felt unapproachable. It seems he intends to destroy this world once, and then reborn it. I see. This was a major problem. If we had headed to the battlefield without preparing anything, it would have been a disaster. Even Diablo wore a serious expression, deep in thought. I feel like I'm the only one lacking a sense of crisis. Well, it can't be helped. Unlike the other three, I've never met him. Frankly, I only have the image of someone who was amazing in the past. A concerning point is, didn't Veldanava lose his power because Milim was born? What did he feel like now? Hearing this question, Velzard shuddered. And said one thing. My brother as he is now, is terrifying. It seems he is an opponent even Velzard doesn't want to fight. It's not really a matter of fighting or anything on that dimension. Anyway, it sounded very bad. In that case, I'll take him on. If he says so, I welcome it greatly. Of course, I intend to leave it to him. The only concern is Veldanava's believers. Assuming it's certain that Veldanava intends to destroy the world, aren't there guys who might follow him? Veldanava's objective is the destruction of the world, taking this as the major premise. I intend to resist with all my might, but not everyone is necessarily the same. Guy, you were close with him in the past, right? Velzard-san, are you okay with being hostile toward your brother? I want to make this point clear. It would be unbearable to be stabbed in the back later, so confirming their opinions first is important. I think that bastard Veldanava has changed. I haven't seen him as he is now, but he's taking actions that would have been unthinkable before. Ideally, I wouldn't want to be hostile, that is my honest feeling, but I can't say that. After all, there is no way the opinions of my brother as he is now and Guy will align. If that happens, it will become a battle, and since my brother will surely not hold back, Guy would be killed. I don't feel like I'll lose, though. Yufufufu, that's right. Yes. Please save that for when it's just the two of you. Well, actually, we wouldn't know until we try, but I'm different from how I was in the past too. I'll try clashing seriously with Veldanava once. Yes, please do so seriously. Since no one opposed it, we decided to leave Veldanava to Guy. The problem is that it's unclear who will defect. Feldway will probably happily follow Veldanava. Kufufufu, he is no opponent for me, however. Putting Luminous aside, what about Dino? Despite how he looks, that guy used to be Veldanava's confidant. Dino might betray us again. Well, maybe it's not really betrayal this time. Milim and Ramers also have deep ties to Veldanava. At this rate, the people we can definitely trust seem limited. Conversely, who can we trust? If it comes to opposing Veldanava, everyone will hesitate. Is there anyone who would still be our ally? Is Luminous seemingly okay? Well, yeah. She wasn't created directly by Veldanava, and she cherishes this world. She'll probably stand on our side. The probably is concerning. Still, it is joyous that there is hope. In that sense. Milim also said she doesn't know her father's face. I feel like she's probably okay. When I said that, Guy retorted, probably, huh. That's obvious. I can't say definitely here. You said probably just a moment ago too. Swallowing those words, I moved the conversation forward. The 7 primordial angels, was it? Including Dino, are they all suspicious? Aside from Feldway, the ones surviving now are Dino, Pico, Gracia, Aber, and Zelario. I want to trust the 3 including Dino, but... Aber pledged loyalty to Milim, but she might change her mind if Veldanava appears. Zelario, my impression of him is too shallow, so I can't really read him. We can't say any of the 5 are certain. I agree. Well, I think Dino and his group are probably fine, but if they turn hostile, I just won't show mercy. How carefree. However, with so much uncertain information, the battle ahead becomes depressing. Velgrin-chan and Veldora-chan are fine, surely. Because we can turn the world into our enemy as long as we have the ones we love. True, that might be so. True dragons have an image of heavy love, after all. Mostly due to Velgrind, that impression was strong, but now I can see that Velzard is pretty much the same. Veldora is, well, practically one with me. If Fredra were alive, he wouldn't have forgiven the current Veldanava. That idealist would definitely prevent the destruction of the world. Guy seemed convinced of this. In that case, Velgrind seems okay too. In the worst case scenario, we simply release Velgrind's true dragon release. Betrayal is absolutely impossible. The calm and ruthless point was made by Seal-sen. Right, there was that authority too. I glossed over the fact that I had forgotten it. Anyway, the true dragons are safe. It looks like it will become an outrageous sibling fight, but I want them to resolve themselves and take it on. From the octogram, I'll tentatively put Luminous and Leon in the trustworthy category. Dagrul is sealed. How about Ramers? She herself is harmless, but if she turns into an enemy, it would be the worst. Milim is, still pending. I decided to keep Dino pending as well. Alright, worrying any further won't lead to progress. I shrugged and concluded. Well, we have no choice but to figure it out on the fly. Guy was also of the opinion that further discussion was unnecessary. Please rest assured, Rimuru-sama. I will absolutely never betray you, and I will eliminate all enemies for you. Yeah, reliable as always. Diablo is business as usual. It's exasperating, but the fact that he is reliable is true. Our policy isn't set at all, but no better ideas seem likely to come up. It looks like there's a change in the situation on the ground. Hearing Velzard's mutter, everyone's gazes focused on the surveillance magic Argus. The battlefield, which had been in a stalemate, had turned to the advantage of humanity, due to the participation of Milim and the others. It wasn't that we were letting our guard down thinking that, but it seems this is no time to be leisurely discussing who should take what role. The consultation happened with accelerated thought, but it seemed there was no more time to spare. I don't plan on dying, so let's give it one more push. Incidentally, I want to do something about the world crisis too. Thinking such things, I use teleportation to head toward the battlefield, taking everyone with me.